Hello, everyone. My name is Leonarda, and today I'm going to be presenting a research article titled "The Promoting Effects of Exercise Motivation on Physical Fitness in College Students, a Mediation Effect Model." So let's start. First, this research article is connected to the need achievement theory and self determination theory as well, but we're going to talk about it later in the presentation. To explain needs achievement theory, it proposes that individuals are motivated by the desire to succeed or avoid failure, often moderated by intrinsic versus extrinsic motives. This study will test how exercise motivation affects physical fitness with mediation effects analyzed. Physical fitness matters because it improves mental health, academic performance, and sleep quality among Chinese college students because this was conducted in China. The physical fitness is declining due to obesity and low physical activity. For example, only 34% of students meet physical activity guidelines. This is why it's important to study motivation because exercise motivation strongly influences physical activity and, in return, physical fitness. Self determination theory explains two types of motivation: intrinsic, which correlates to fun, competence, and appearance, and extrinsic, which is connected to health and social factors. Higher intrinsic motivation supports sustained behavior change. So the goal of the study was to explore how exercise motivation impacts physical activity with physic how I'm sorry, how it impacts physical fitness with physical activity as a mediator, and examining differences by gender and motivation type. So as you can see on the visual, physical fitness was the outcome and physical activity was the mediator, while predictor was exercise motivation. And there were four hypotheses in the study. The first one saying that motivation directly improves physical fitness. Second one, motivation indirectly improves physical fitness through physical activity. Third, that gender influences this relationship. And as you can see on the visual as well, the different motivation types, health, appearance, fun, competence, and social, have different effects on physical fitness. The study was a two-stage stratified random sampling from two universities in China. They tested a total of 3,734 college students from October to November 2020, but final sample included only 2,544 students. Mean age was 19. It wasn't stated why the rest of them dropped out, but okay. It was pretty equal, 52% male and 48% female participants. 71% of them were freshmen and sophomores, and 29% junior and seniors. We can assume that juniors and seniors were more busy, so they didn't really have time to participate in the study. They had to be 18 to 24 years old and volunteered in participation. The study included four different scales to measure the results and data. First one was exercise motivation scale. It was a simplified Chinese MPAMR model, which included 15 items on 5-point Likert scale, meaning higher the score, it means higher level of motivation. It tested health, appearance, fun, competence, and social. The other one was physical activity scale. It was a four-question survey based on RPE, rate of rate of perceived exertion. It measured frequency, duration, intensity, and physical activity history. So, for example, some of the questions that were included were like, how many times a week do you participate in physical activity? When was the last time you participated in some sort of physical activity, and so on. The scoring was let me move myself. The scoring was from 4 to 27. Higher the score, meaning more active. And the last one was physical fitness evaluation based on national student physical fitness standards. So the participants were tested on their BMI, lung capacity, 50-meter run, flexibility, long jump, pull-ups and sit-ups, and also 800-meter and 1,000-meter run. So a lot of it. They were also scored on their results and either placed in groups of excellent, good, passing, or they failed the test. So let's do this. So, results of this study show that exercise motivation was significantly correlated with both physical activity and physical fitness. All five motivation dimensions were also positively related to physical fitness and physical activity. As you can see on the table, the health had the highest exercise motivation score, followed by appearance, fun, competence, and social. There were also gender differences. Males had higher in health, fun, competence, and social motivation, and also physical activity, while females were higher in appearance motivation, and physical fitness overall. So to confirm hypothesis 1 to 3, it was the results show that exercise motivation directly impacts physical fitness, mediated by physical activity, which validates hypothesis number 1 that motivation predicts physical fitness, and hypothesis number 2 that physical activity partially mediates. Differences by gender: males had 51.2% of total effect, and females had 27.2% of total effect. So, hypothesis number 3 is also supported that mediation was stronger in males. To discuss hypothesis number 4, model explains 16.4% of physical fitness variance after controlling all age, gender, grade, and physical activity. Significant predictors of physical fitness in order were health motivation, followed by competence, appearance, social motivation. So hypothesis number 4 was supported that different motivation dimensions affect physical fitness differently. Main findings of the study was that exercise motivation positively impacts physical fitness, both directly and indirectly through physical activity. It also supported self-determination theory that motivation leads to action, which leads to improved fitness. This study validated all hypotheses from 1 to 4, and it contributed in means that it extended self-determination theory applications in college student health behaviors. It explained intrinsic and extrinsic motivation and how they impact physical fitness differently. In males, there was higher in intrinsic motivation, meaning health, fun, and competence, and females were higher in extrinsic motivation, in other words, appearance. The study also suggested gender specific strategies for promoting exercise motivation. Some practical applications of the study. So, positive predictors of physical fitness are health motivation and competence, while negative predictors are appearance and social. This is possibly due to stress, anxiety, and social expectations. To sum up, males had higher physical activity scores but lower physical fitness than females, and this could also be because of females' overall healthier lifestyle and dietary habits, which was not tracked in the study. Some implications for universities are to promote health and competence motivation in interventions, address gender and motivation types when designing fitness programs, and encourage holistic improvements and not just increasing physical activity. Some limitations of the study were that this was a cross-sectional design which limited the ability to infer causal relationships. So in the future, it is suggested to use longitudinal designs to track results over time. Also, there was a limited sample scope. That the data was collected from only 2 universities in China. So it will be good to have broader and more diverse sample needed for generalization. And last, which I think is the most important, there was missing lifestyle factors. This study did not measure diet, sleep, or any habits of these participants, which could highly impact the data. At the end, key conclusions of this study was that exercise motivation directly and indirectly improves physical fitness. Health motivation is the top driver for student physical activity participation. Gender and motivation type affect how exercise motivation relates to physical fitness. And some practical implications is to promote health and competence motivation, increase physical activity participation, and tailor interventions by gender and motivation dimensions. The study contributed and offered new strategies for boosting physical fitness in college populations, and it laid groundwork for future research and intervention design. Thank you for listening.